Good morning, you guys. Happy Friday. One thing that I talked about the other day was the fact that extreme feminism puts women in danger because it sacrifices their safety in order to prove a point that can't be proven. So if you want to go back and find that video and watch it, you can. But another thing that I want to point out is a lot of these people who are attacking people like myself and others who point out that, hey, Cassie has to be held accountable for some of her choices. She chose to do some of those things and she was not under duress, okay? We get attacked, okay? But a lot of those people, they don't really care about Cassie's well-being. They just want to prove a point. They just want to be right. If they really cared about Cassie's well-being, they would be speaking on something that she needs to prepare for, but they're not. But I actually do care about humanity, so I'm going to give her some game that y'all need to be giving her if y'all gave a fuck. Cassie needs to prepare for the possibility of Alex leaving her, okay? Y'all can sit around and y'all can listen to these women online cackling, talking about, yeah, Alex a strong man. He a good man. He's securing his manhood, and that's why he gonna stay with her. Okay. Even with all of that being said, there is only so much ridicule a man can take. Okay? Men, their egos, they're different from us, okay? Their pride means a lot more to them than it does women oftentimes. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, man, and she hits it on the head, man. She hits it on the head. We definitely going to have to react to the last part of this video, but most definitely, man, she hit it on the head because no man can endure this. As she stated, no man can keep going through this, can take all of this ridicule and just keep on moving like it's just another day. Like even for your imps, that is just too far. That is just too far because at the end of the day, a man has his pride and ego to lean on, right? Now, once again, we can sit here and say pride and ego is bad as much as we want, which it is to some degree. It is to some degree, but you have to have pride in the sense of you got to know when to leave. You got to know when to stand up for yourself. Have some pride about yourself, right? Have some pride about yourself. Now, he got up and left the courtroom, but he didn't get up and leave the relationship, which needs to happen. He needs to leave that marriage. He needs to leave that marriage because this is a stain that will last forever brought upon her. And people, listen, you have women who are telling other people you don't need to be worrying about her past. And a lot of women's response as well is, well, you know what? That happened in the past. They weren't thinking about getting a divorce before this case happened, right? So there was never really no issue before then. Well, there was an issue before then. That's why we're here in the courts right now. There was an issue beforehand because that's why you dudes sitting up here staring at Diddy eye to eye, face to face. But once again, he got up and he left the courtroom because number one, he don't want to hear that. But of course, a lot of people are going to say that, well, the reason he had to leave was because he was Diddy's personal trainer in 2018. Okay, then, well, now the next question for the people who have a response like that, because they just want to be disingenuous. Anytime people say certain stuff like that, they're just being disingenuous. But okay, that's fine, right? Let's just roll with the reason Alex is leaving the courtroom while hearing his woman getting plowed through the mattress and all the things that his woman had to freaking do in her past. Let's just say that's not the reason he left, right? Let's just say, hey, well, the reason he left is because he was Diddy's personal trainer in 2018. Cool. So so with him leaving, who does it hurt? Does it hurt Diddy or does it hurt Cassie? Okay, well, it's going to hurt Diddy. Okay, then, so are we not trying to get Diddy put up? Are we not trying to get all the information that we need to get this man put away for whatever reason they want to put him away for? Because it ain't gonna be no racketeering, I can tell you that. Or no sex trafficking. Or hey, well, nah, it could hurt Cassie. It could hurt Cassie. Well, then, so we're just gonna put an innocent man in jail. We're just gonna leave out some information. We're just gonna pull a whole nother Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion where we're not having all the information. So we're just gonna put a man behind bars for something that he probably didn't do. We're gonna penalize him for something. Like what are we talking about here? Right? What are we talking about here? If I'm fighting for my freedom, I want everything to go in my favor. So if that means I gotta pull your husband to come over here and testify you, which of course, I know that probably wouldn't happen because a husband testified against his wife, but I mean, let's just be honest here. If they're wrong, we hold them to the highest extent. But what we're trying to do with Diddy is not trying to hold this man accountable. We're just trying to put this man up under the bus. And this is what happens when you want to be somebody like Destiny from the blue pill, right? This is what happens, man, when you want to sit here and say, well, you know, my baby's past don't really matter. It only matters what we do now. Like I said, man, back in college, I will never forget this, bro. I would never, and I got an update on the girl too, but I never forget this, man. When I was at my HBCU, we were walking out of class, and you had this dude, he decided to date this girl, man. She was known to sleep around, right? She was known to sleep around. She was known to hang around a lot of guys. She was your stereotypical sister that you would not want to be dealing with, maybe on a sexual level, but on a relationship level, never. But he decided to cuff her up, and you had other people telling him, yo, bro, like, yo, bro, you know she out here bopping, right? His only response was, bro, like, I don't care about that, man. She might have been a hoe in her past, but she's not with me, and that's all that really matters. Now, fast forward, people. Now, that was back in high school. That was back in college. That was probably like 2019, 2020. Fast forward, people, fast forward. She is literally pregnant by another man. Literally pregnant by a whole nother man, about to have a kid with a whole nother man. Now, that dude, he's about to be in a world of hurt. But all I'm saying is, you can't see, this guy was a simp, and he made an excuse for his girlfriend and her past. Come to find out, a couple of years later, they're not even together anymore.
So this man's pride is hurt. I don't care what y'all say. That man's pride is very hurt after all of that stuff came out on the stand. You know, that's not something that they can just live down and put behind them, okay? Because somebody's going to always remind him. And even if they're not constantly reminding him, it's going to be in the back of his mind, okay? Whenever he goes to do some sort of business deal, whenever he goes to play a golf game, whatever they do in that world, he is going to have in the back of his mind wondering if those dudes are laughing at him, or thinking that those dudes are laughing at him. And God forbid he have words with somebody, a disagreement. What do you think the first thing they're going to say to him is? You probably can't even satisfy your wife, all those BBCs she had up in her. Come on now, we keeping it $1.50. And no, I don't think it's fair that a woman's past is held against her, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why we need to tell these young ladies the truth. Stop telling them that they can get out here and wild out without consequences. If you love them, tell them what it's really going to do to them. But anyway, that is not something that a man wants to deal with, okay? So at some point, he is going to reach a breaking point, okay? Now, it may be a while, because he's probably going to try to stick it out while she, you know, has this baby, and he may try to make it work. You know, he may have, you know, a woman in his family saying, hey, you know, you need to make it work for the baby, you got to put the past behind you. But then he gonna have his uncles or some dudes, and they're like, you know, be careful. You know, he's just gonna have a whole lot of, you know, whatever. And I do believe that people should make their own choices. They shouldn't just do what their family and friends tell them to do. But again, that is on an extreme scale. Like, this man has sat in front of the world and heard about vile, disgusting acts that his wife willingly participated in with hundreds of men. That's a lot for anybody to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And women can say, well, I wouldn't care if I heard that about my husband. And women and men are different. Okay? A man's body and a woman's body, if you don't get it, it's no point in explaining it to you, because you're not in reality. But this is where I see this going, okay? I could be wrong, but I see him either trying to stick it out, but eventually saying, hey, this is just not going to work, you know what I'm saying? Or he may know now, hey, this ain't going to work, and he might do like Party and just be quiet and quietly go on about his business, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what Party did. Party quietly went on about his business, but then Meg started taking shots at him, so that's when he released that song telling what really happened with the breakup, and it was what I knew was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, all that stuff came out, and he was embarrassed, and then she kept on, you know, whatever. So anyway, and then y'all painted him out to be a villain for making a song, even though she took shots at him first. But whatever. Like I said, y'all, lack of accountability, feminists, females, y'all not in reality. But anyway, so he is either going to try to stick it out, or if he's a snake, and we all know She gravitates towards snakes, hence her relationship with Diddy. But if he is a snake, I'm going to tell you what he might do. And she better be careful, and she better think. Okay? If he was a snake, or just a low-down person, he could easily, because you know she's sitting on that $20 million. Minus whatever she done spent in the meantime, but she's sitting on a bag, right? If he's an evil person, he'll get her back on that dope. And so what she needs to do is be mindful. If he say, hey, baby, you know, I know you just had the baby. Let's go release some steam, or what they call it? Let off some steam and go party and stuff. And he reintroduce her to some dope and get her back hooked. Then he gonna take her to that courtroom and say, Your Honor, I love my wife, but she has a drug history. You know, she has a well-documented drug history, and she's back on drugs, and I've tried to help her, but Your Honor, I just need the children in the meantime until she gets herself together. And that judge gonna grant him them children. Then he's gonna pull a Kevin Federline. Shout out to the OG Dusty, Kevin Federline. Then he can be like, well, I need money to support the kids. Then you're going to hit her up for a fat child support check. You see what I'm saying? Then it's just downhill from there.
I mean, sis hitting it on the head with her beautiful self. Sis is hitting it on the head. She kind of remind me of Tay Tay if y'all actually keep up with some of the red pill and TikTok spaces. She brought up Party. She brought up Partisan Fontaine and Megan Thee Stallion. That is one big example. Here's a situation where Megan was lying, saying that she didn't sleep with Tory, trying to save face. I'm trying to make it seem like sis wasn't out here, bro, getting slammed every which way. Come to find out, she was lying. Come to find out, man, she's a snake. She's over here sleeping behind her friend's back. She over here done slept with Tory, done slept with the baby. I mean, out here just getting passed around, man, like hot potato. And Party was out here defending her. He was defending her, calling men weak, this, that, and the third. Then guess what? Like she said, then she starts to send shots at Partisan Fontaine as if he was not there helping you out with your image that you created, all the crap that you did, he put up with. Then all of a sudden you want to then send shots at him. This is why you guys don't need to be, like, once again, man, you got to understand women's nature. Understand women's nature. They are your woman until they are not your woman. The past means a lot, people. The past means a lot, and that's a fact. And then the second example, my cousin, bro. I know this, and I'm really not gonna call him my cousin, but he got me by like 8-9 years. 8 to 9 years, people. He was like a big bro to me, man. So I'm dealing with this chick. We all go to quote unquote same church. That's what y'all may call. We call it a tabernacle. Y'all call it a church, but we go to the same tabernacle. Like I said, man, I'm dating this girl. He's like a mediator between us. He's like a big brother between us. So, I mean, and this is going on for years, people. This is going on for years. I think I got her by like a year or two. So she ended up going to college like a year or two after me. We break up or whatnot. Come to find out, right? Come to find out. She, as soon as she got to college, she slept with my cousin that, once again, was like a big brother to us. So anytime that me and her would argue, we would go to him. We would go talk about it or whatnot. And whole time the dude drilling. So fast forward, man, she, I guess, they actually took it seriously. They started the date or whatnot. The relationship fell through. The relationship is no more. We end up talking again. Now, not to the point, man, where, where we dating and nothing like that, but we were just talking like, hey, man, look, how you been, this, that, and the third. Let me really get to know, really tell me about the situation. I really want to know what happened. Why did you do what you did? Right now, mind you, she was sleeping with him when we weren't dating, by the way. So let's get that clear. But while she was in college, she was getting ran by my cousin. She was getting plucked by me at times. And then she had a whole lot of boyfriend. I'm just like, man, now look, once she leaves out of college, she done had a little freaking past. Now she wants to come rolling back to me and saying, hey, well, you know what? Hey, maybe we can get this thing going again. Maybe we can make this thing work again. And my biggest response was, number one, as much as I would love to, I already moved on. Right? If you were at least a woman that was an asset, it would be a different story. But you're not. You're a liability. You slept with my cousin. You slept with him behind my back. And then on top of that, y'all was dealing with each other for a long time. And how I found out was mighty wild. But long story short, man, she wanted me to go ahead and cuff again. She wanted to go ahead and get that main spot. And it just wasn't happening because We both go to the same tabernacle. What makes you think I'm about? And everybody knew everybody knew me and you dated. Now everybody know that you and old dude had a past with each other. So what makes you think I would want to be caught in the middle? So I had to tell her straight up, like, hey man, listen, as much as I want to, I can't. I can't do that because you're gonna have other brothers looking at me crazy, saying, well, dang, I know they used to date, but wasn't she dealing with his cousin? It doesn't make any sense. That's not something any man wants. And I was telling her, I said, man, listen, how would you expect me to date you? Whole time, it's just every time I'm with you, in the back of my head, I could just only think about you dealing with my cousin. How would you expect me to take you seriously after all of the stuff that you just did? People are going to be looking at me crazy if I keep rolling up in this joint with you. And while I'm sitting over here smashing you, I'm only going to be thinking about the dude, once again, my cousin smashing you. Like, it does not make any sense, but they will always guilt trip you. Women will always guilt trip you, make you feel bad for not wanting to accept the past, for not wanting to accept their mistakes. Same thing with Party. Women were sitting here loving this man up and down while he was defending her. But the second he said, hey, okay, well, I got to respond to her because she want to be disrespectful. But hey, I had to get up out of here. Now all of a sudden we want to make this man a villain. And that is just how your sisterhood works. And that's why we are in shambles. That's why our women cannot progress at all today, because look at what they're willing to accept. Look at what they're willing to fight for. Doesn't make any sense, man. But look, guys, do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Sis was speaking.